Ladies and gentlemen, imagine this. You are sitting on a train, looking out the window. The scenery moves past you, trees, houses, people, but no matter how much you wish, you can't make the train stop. Time is a lot like that train. Physics tells us that time marches forward relentlessly. In the equations of motion, in the decay of atoms, in the spin of electrons, time doesn't pause, it doesn't reverse, it just is. And the fascinating thing is, you can't cheat it, but you can use it. Every second that ticks by is gone forever, yet each one carries the potential to build something remarkable. So, let's explore why. From the tiniest particles to the vastness of the cosmos, time is unstoppable, and how understanding that can inspire us to live fully now in the only moment we truly have. Have you ever wondered what time really is? Not the ticking of a clock, not the calendar on your wall, but the essence of time itself, the invisible thread that stitches our lives together. It's one of those things we all think we understand until we actually stop and try to look at it closely, like trying to catch sunlight in your hand. And when you look closely, physics tells us that time is relentless. It doesn't stop for anyone. It doesn't wait for us to get ready. It doesn't rewind because we feel nostalgic. It is a river, and we are in it, floating along, sometimes with joy, sometimes with struggle, sometimes barely noticing its current, but always carried forward. If you think about it, the laws of physics, the very equations that govern the universe, are written with time as a parameter that moves only in one direction. The second law of thermodynamics, for example, tells us that entropy increases, disorder grows. Ice melts, eggs scramble, stars burn their fuel. These processes all have a preferred direction in time. There is a reason we remember the past and not the future, because the past is where entropy is lower, where order has already been converted into the randomness of the present. You can't unscramble an egg, and you can't unscramble a moment of your life. The physics is clear, time is unstoppable. And yet, despite this unstoppable flow, we try. Every day we schedule our lives as though we could contain time in neat boxes, as though we could pause it when we want a little more sleep, or rewind it when we make a mistake. But the universe doesn't work that way. You can't step outside the flow. The particles in your body, the photons bouncing off your eyes, the atoms that make up every chair and street and building, every single one of them is moving in time, never pausing, never stepping back. And that is both humbling and empowering, because if time doesn't stop, then every single second we have is alive with potential. Consider the way light travels. Light from distant stars takes millions of years to reach us. When we look at the night sky, we are seeing the past. Those stars might have already burned out, exploded into supernovae, and yet the light keeps traveling, carrying a story frozen in time. And isn't that a beautiful metaphor for our own lives? The moments we experience, the words we speak, the deeds we do, they all travel forward in time, echoing in ways we cannot always see. Even if we can't go back, the impact moves forward, unstoppable. Beyond our perception, time is measured in seconds, minutes, and hours, but that is just a human convenience. Physics measures time differently. It sees time as part of the very fabric of the universe, woven together with space. Einstein's theory of relativity shows us that time is not absolute. A clock moving close to the speed of light ticks more slowly than one sitting on your desk. Gravity bends time. Near a massive star or a black hole, time stretches, slows, and warps in ways that seem like magic until you do the math. The point is, time is inexorable, but it is also flexible in its rhythm, and that flexibility tells us something profound. The universe is alive, dynamic, and astonishingly intricate. And in our lives, time works the same way. It is relentless, yes, but it is also the canvas upon which we paint our choices, our dreams, our actions. We cannot stop it, but we can move with it. We can align ourselves with the current and make each second matter. Every heartbeat, every conversation, every laugh, every tear is a particle in the unstoppable flow of our existence. To waste time is to resist the river, but to embrace it is to dance in the current of the universe itself. Even the smallest things obey time. A single atom of hydrogen, the simplest building block of matter, exists and changes according to the laws of physics, never pausing, never escaping the passage of time. Combine trillions of these atoms, and you get the chair you are sitting on, the air you are breathing, the thoughts you are thinking. Time is not something outside you. It is the rhythm of your being. It is in every chemical reaction in your body, in every signal your neurons send, in every blink of your eye. The body, I, T-self is a universe in miniature, and time is the engine that drives it. We often fear the passage of time. We see wrinkles, gray hair, and fading energy, and we wish we could stop the clock. But physics shows us that decay and change are not enemies. They are the markers of existence. Entropy is not evil. It is simply the way reality flows. And if we look closely, we see that within this unstoppable flow lies beauty and opportunity. Time does not discriminate. It flows through the rich and the poor, the strong and the weak, the powerful and the unknown. It is impartial and fair in its constancy. And for those who understand it, that constancy becomes a source of power. Because once you accept that time is unstoppable, a strange liberation occurs. You realize that procrastination is futile, that regrets cannot undo the past, that fretting over what cannot be changed is a misuse of the only true resource you have. Every moment that passes is gone forever, yes, but that also means every moment you have now is precious and full of potential. It is an invitation to act, to create, to explore, to love, to learn. Time is unstoppable, but it is also your ally if you align yourself with it. Think about the vast scales of the universe. Galaxies collide, stars are born and die, black holes bend space and time, and cosmic radiation drifts across the emptiness. None of these phenomena wait for us. They unfold according to their own clock, oblivious to human concerns, unstoppable. Yet, in that same universe, life emerges on a small blue planet. Consciousness arises, and with it, the ability to measure time, to reflect, to anticipate, to plan. We are tiny observers in a vast time drive and cosmos. And yet we can understand the patterns, the rhythms, the flow. That understanding is a gift. It allows us to navigate the river of time with curiosity, intelligence, and wonder. And every personal story, every historical event, every small decision is also part of this continuum. Empires rise and fall, inventions are made, discoveries reshape our understanding, all marching forward in the unstoppable current of time. Even when humans seem to resist or delay change, the universe continues. The Niagara of moments flows onward, and we are carried with it. The question is not how to stop it, but how to move with it, how to contribute to it meaningfully, how to ensure that our moments leave ripples that matter. When you study physics, you realize that the more you look, the more intricate the flow of time becomes. Quantum mechanics shows us that particles fluctuate, that events are probabilistic, and yet even there, time's arrow persists. You may not know exactly when a radioactive atom will decay, but you know it will, eventually, moving inexorably forward. It's a universe that is random, unpredictable, and chaotic, and yet also ordered and reliable in its commitment to the passage of time. And life, being part of that universe, shares in both the unpredictability and the constancy. To live fully is to accept that time will not wait. It is to take bold steps, to act despite uncertainty, to explore despite fear, because the river moves whether you swim or float, whether you resist or embrace. The atoms that make up your body are constantly being replaced, your thoughts constantly shifting, your life in motion. And in that motion lies opportunity. The present moment, however fleeting, is all you truly have control over. The past is memory, the future is anticipation, but now this second is alive with potential, unstoppable in its unfolding. Time is something we all think we understand, but the deeper you look, the more mysterious it becomes. You wake up every morning, glance at your clock, and feel like you have a sense of it, as though time were a simple, steady tick-tock, the background music of your life. But that is only the surface, a human approximation. If you step back, if you consider what physics tells us, Time is a river, a flow, a phenomenon that moves through every particle, every atom, every photon, every living thing in the universe, and it does so relentlessly. It does not stop for grief. It does not pause for joy. It does not rewind for mistakes. And yet, in that unstoppable flow lies an invitation, a challenge, and an extraordinary opportunity, because the very constancy of time gives structure, meaning, and motion to everything we do, everything we are, everything we can become. Consider a particle, the tiniest unit of matter. It does not sit still. Even in what seems like absolute emptiness, a particle vibrates, oscillates, exists in states of possibility, obeying quantum laws that are probabilistic, mysterious, and wondrous. Yet even this dance, this jittering motion, is defined within the framework of time. The particle moves forward in time. The universe moves forward. You cannot step outside it. You cannot pause it. And yet, from these tiniest constituents, the atoms that make up your body, your chair, the air, the sunlight, emerge all the complexity of the universe. And in that complexity, human life emerges with the remarkable ability to perceive time, to measure it, to plan for it, to reflect upon it, and to use it, even though it can never be stopped or reversed. When we look at the cosmos, the scale of time becomes even more profound. Stars are born. They live for millions or billions of years. They die, they collapse, and their remnants become the seeds for new stars, new planets, new possibilities. Galaxies collide, black holes distort the very fabric of space and time, and yet the flow of time continues, uninterrupted, unstoppable, impartial. It is awe-inspiring to realize that the universe has been moving forward for billions of years, long before humans, long before life, and that it will continue long after. And within that flow, each of us exists for a few fleeting decades, yet each of us participates in the grand river of moments. Each thought, each action, each choice we make contributes to the unstoppable current of existence in some way, however small it may seem. Time, as physics tells us, is not absolute. Einstein showed us that it bends, stretches, and warps depending on speed and gravity. Near a black hole, time slows. Move close to the speed of light, and a second for you is longer than a second for someone standing still. That flexibility is astonishing because it reveals that time is both unstoppable and dynamic, constant yet malleable. And our lives, too, have a kind of relativity. Moments can feel stretched in joy, fleeting in sadness, long in anticipation, short in retrospect. Our perception of time may be subjective, but its march forward is objective. Understanding this gives us both humility and power. Humility, because we realize we cannot control the river. Power, because we can choose how to flow with it. Entropy teaches us another lesson. The second law of thermodynamics states that the total disorder of a system increases over time. Ice melts, fires consume wood, planets age, stars burn their fuel, and human bodies age. Everything is subject to decay. And yet, this unstoppable trend toward disorder is not merely destruction. It is the engine of change, evolution, and creativity. Without the arrow of time, there would be no cause and effect, no growth, no story, no learning. Every moment that passes is a transformation, a rearrangement of possibilities, a movement forward into new realities. And for us, that means the unstoppable nature of time is not something to fear. It is a constant invitation to engage, to act, to create meaning in the only medium in which meaning can exist, the present. Every human life is a microcosm of this principle. We often wish we could pause, rewind, or speed up our personal clocks. We wish for more time to speak, to love, to create, to explore, but the universe has its own laws indifferent to our wishes, and that is liberating. If time is unstoppable, then every moment you have now is valuable precisely because it cannot be repeated. Every opportunity to act, to connect, to learn, to grow is fleeting, and its fleetingness is what gives it power. To waste time is to resist the universe, but to embrace it is to harness its unstoppable current for creation, achievement, and fulfillment. Think about the neurons in your brain. They fire, they process, they adapt, and they change with each passing millisecond, your memories form, your thoughts emerge, your consciousness flows, all riding the unstoppable river of time. The atoms in your body, once part of stars, once part of soil, now part of you, move forward through reactions, decay, and regeneration. You are a process, a dynamic system in motion, not a static entity. And that motion is governed by time, unstoppable, impartial, continuous, like the beating of a cosmic drum that marks the rhythm of existence. History, too, is an unstoppable current. Empires rise and fall, discoveries are made, art is created, revolutions unfold, and no matter what individuals do, time moves forward. You cannot pause it, you cannot rewind it, and you cannot control its grand sweep. But you can participate. You can contribute to the story, leave a mark, and influence the flow in subtle ways, even the smallest actions. Helping someone, creating something beautiful, learning something new, become part of the river, carried forward, and echoing beyond what you can perceive. The most fascinating paradox is that while time is unstoppable, it is intimately personal. You live within it, yet you also experience it uniquely. Seconds may fly by in one moment, drag in another, feel heavy in grief, light in joy, expansive in wonder, fleeting in anticipation. Physics describes time for atoms, photons, planets, and galaxies, yet our lived experience bends time in ways science cannot fully capture. This intersection between the objective flow and subjective perception is where meaning arises, where we find motivation, where we discover the urgency to act, to love, to create, to explore. Even in moments of stillness, time moves. The air circulates, the universe spins, the atoms vibrate, and the flow continues. You cannot pause reality, but you can choose how to move with it, to act consciously, to prioritize what matters, to focus on the present while learning from the past and preparing for the future is to align yourself with the unstoppable flow rather than resist it. And alignment is empowerment. When you understand that time will not wait, you begin to act decisively, to live fully, to embrace risk, to chase curiosity, to pursue growth relentlessly. In essence, time is both impartial and intimate, unstoppable yet flexible, universal yet personal. It carries the cosmos and our tiny lives alike. It is written into the stars, into atoms, into neurons, into every heartbeat. To live well is to understand this truth deeply, to move with time rather than against it, to treat each moment as a rare and precious gift, to invest in it wisely, and to recognize that the unstoppable flow of time is not an enemy, but a partner in the creation of a life worth living.